Hello, good morning. Welcome to News Desk. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Coming up this morning, Ghana police confirms arrest of Acquah FM presenter Acquah and son. Three people dead and others injured in a crash last night on the Nalarigu-Gambaga Road in the Northeast region. Also in this bulletin, Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Professor Acquah, laments over delays in releasing funds to his authority.
For funding, we also want the public to understand that mental health care is a shared concern.
We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Do stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. The Ghana Police Service has announced the arrest of a radio presenter, Acquah and son of the Acquah FM. The Acquah Regional Police Command says they picked him up in connection with an alleged case of publication of false news and offensive conduct. The police added his arrest became necessary after he turned down several invitations from the police to him and others involved in the case to assist with investigations. Our court correspondent Joseph Acquah is on this beat for us. He joins me via Zoom. Joseph, what do we know about this arrest? All right, so let's update you on what has brought us here. Then we can speak with Joseph Acquah.
Broadcaster Acquah Ansa, we understand, is being held at the Accra Central Police Station. It's not clear at this stage whether charges have been leveled or what exactly he's been accused of. But from what we have picked up from a few of his colleagues, he was picked up shortly after ending his political show on the Accra-based radio station. We understand he was taken initially to the Nima police station where he spent the night. Then early on Friday morning, he was moved over here to the Accra Central Police Station. He's been specifically held at the Striking Force Division, where the charge office specifically is where he's being kept. A few of his colleagues who spent the night at the Nima police station are also at the Central Police Station here to monitor proceedings. We understand from our sources within the police that a statement may be issued in the course of the day, either at the regional level or at the national police with regards to the events leading to this particular incident. And this has happened at a time in a space of 7 days where we have seen first a journalist of Power FM being sentenced to spend 14 days in jail by a court here in Accra. Again, we've also seen the executive director of Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, also being charged for publication of false news. These are isolated and unconnected events, but they will definitely form the base of a lot of the discussions that will take place in the coming hours. For joining us from the Accra Central Police Station, Joseph Acquah reporting.
Joseph Acquah has joined me in the studio with more on this. Joseph, what do we know about this arrest?
And so, first, there's a statement that has come from the Ghana Police Service. It was actually put on the Facebook page. It indicates that Acquah Ansa arrested for publication of false news. Mr. Acquah Ansa of Accra FM was arrested yesterday, February 10, 2022, by the Accra Regional Police Command in connection with allegations of publication of false news and offensive conduct. The police service indicates that the arrest became necessary after he had turned down several invitations from the police to him and others involved in the case to assist with investigations. The regional command will issue a full statement on the matter in due course. In terms of the nature or the manner of that arrest, we understand that he was picked up at the radio station shortly after he had completed his political talk show program. He was taken to the Nima police station where he spent the night. Then early Friday morning, he was moved to the Accra Central Police Station. And that is where he's currently being held. A few of his colleagues were present at the Nima Police Station. They spent the night there. They followed up at the Accra Central Police Station where they are still there presently. What is happening is that lawyers are trying to get in touch with the police authorities to ensure that if it's the case that is going to be taken to the court today is taken, or if at any point in time they can get the police to grant him an inquiry bill, that will also be done as well.
Well, 3 journalists have been picked up in less than 2 months. Is this trend worrying, or is it that journalists are being irresponsible? We've been joined by Suleiman Abrahima via Zoom for more on this. Mr. Abrahima, I'm grateful for your time. All right, so we'll get Suleiman Abrahima to join for this, but Joseph Akable is still here with me. So have journalists, particularly, how are they reacting to this? This is not the first time. I mean, in just a few spate of time,
in fact, in just the last couple of days, and so, I mean, they all bought around the same events, really. So first, we had this gentleman who works at Power FM who was taken to court, cited for contempt, actually. He is currently at Nsawam, serving a 14-day jail term. And so that was the first incident we had in this particular week alone. Then the second one being the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability boss. He was taken to the court, to the Kaneshie District Court, and charged with offensive conduct and also publication of false news. He has been granted bail. And so that's the second incident that happened at this time around. There's also the bit about the Connect FM journalist who was allegedly beaten by police officers in the Western region. So there are those who hold the view that there's the potential that people are engaged in irresponsible journalism of sort, and there are others who also hold the view that, I mean, it's actually the case of one too many events of police or security agency or officials of security agencies arresting individuals, and that is creating an impression in their minds that it appears certain individuals are not comfortable with the work that journalists are doing. We cannot forget that of Captain Smart too. It's another one that came up. It followed some allegations that even involved the roads minister. The police investigated it and cleared the roads minister and indicated they were going to charge Captain Smart. And so that is also another issue that has come up. And so it's still the age-long discussion of what should the borderline be. I mean, yes, journalists should be responsible, but are we seeing the state be using this publication of false news in a manner as against allowing persons who feel aggrieved to take defamatory actions against the journalist? Or perhaps Mr. Abrahima was speaking on SMS earlier, making a point that why are people not using the independent media organization, so like the National Media Commission? If a journalist carries out his work in a manner that it's not the very best, you should take that person to the National Media Commission, as against creating a situation where the charges of publication of false news becomes a new form of the criminal libel law, even though he emphasized that reckless journalism has no place in the practice.
Do we know when he will be arraigned before court?
We don't know that for now. The police have indicated that another statement will come that will be more detailed and give some background and put it in appropriate context, and we have a lot of these questions answered.
Thankfully, Suleiman Abrahima of Media Foundation for West Africa has joined us via Zoom. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Suleiman Abrahima. Are journalists being targeted, or we're being irresponsible?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer, but we are seeing evidence of perhaps both. Indeed, any observer of the media landscape cannot but conclude that increasingly we are seeing a lot of excesses, reckless, unprofessional conduct by persons who either appear on platforms or are hosts of media programs, and this is particularly on radio and television. And I think it is simply an amplification of the kind of partisanship that we have in our country. And in most instances, it is not what I would call pure journalism, but essentially political advocacy on radio or on television by certain partisan actors. And that's where we see a lot of the excesses happening. So the first part of the question, yes, there's evidence to that in terms of the recklessness. But of course, there are other media organizations and journalists who are also discharging their responsibilities so professionally. Even as we may say, being human beings, once in a while, there may be some slips here or there. But in terms of the targeting, I say also there is some evidence of that, because over the period, we've seen quite a number of incidents that are certainly unjustifiable by persons who are state actors, and in this case, national security officials. We've seen the incident in Acquah where Tabiri was brutalized to almost death. We've seen the incident involving modern Ghana journalist, and the attack on their offices. We've seen the ambush of David Tamaklo of WhatsApp News for a claim that he had published false information, when indeed the material for which he was being arrested had not yet been published. And the arrest was on the basis that somebody that the platform or the news organization was investigating had made a complaint to the police. And again, if we take the whole provision on publication of false news, it is a publication that has always been in existence. Since the repeal of the criminal libel law, that particular provision had not been repealed, and so it was in existence. So under President Kufuor, under Mills, under Mahama, I don't think that we want to believe that this is the only time that we've had people appearing in media and propagating or publishing or broadcasting content that are found to be false. And that is why I think that, again, the other problem is the non-functioning or ineffectiveness of the National Media Commission. So there is some semblance of targeting. We saw the NCA shut down in a politically motivated way a number of radio stations that were aligned to the opposition. We see the same conduct being exhibited on a number of platforms, and yet nothing happens to persons on those platforms who perpetrate the same kinds of unprofessional conduct and recklessness. And so to that extent, one cannot but conclude that there is some evidence or some semblance of some media organizations or some persons being targeted. Unfortunately, here you are this time.
We are being targeted or we are being irresponsible ourselves. How do you want this resolved on the part of the journalists and also on the part of state agencies? Well,
I think that we have to look at it from multiple dimensions. One, the National Communications Authority, that is the body that issues frequencies to media organizations. I don't know the basis on which, for a country of 30 million people, we currently have over, close to 800 radio stations. And in terms of frequencies that have been issued, I believe it is even more than that. What are the credentials and the evidence that people submit to prove that they have the capacity to be able to operate media organizations? Now, what we are witnessing, as I said, is just an amplification of the partisanship that has characterized our discourse as a country. And so radio stations frequencies are being given to political activists, to established media organizations, purely for political propaganda. And when that happens, certainly you don't expect to see these platforms being used for the purposes of journalism, but indeed what you would have is the kind of things that we are seeing. Whether it is the Power FM, whether it is Wuntumi Radio, whether it is Oman FM, whether it is XYZ, and so on and so forth. What predominantly happens is political propaganda, political discourse, attacks, and so on and so forth. So the question of ownership is so critical that we need to look at it. In fact, it is even done in secrecy. We did a study that showed that a lot of these media organizations are going, or frequencies are going to politicians. That is number one. Number two is that I think the National Media Commission has to assert itself, as a statutory media regulator. Increasingly, the functions of the NMC are being taken away. We know that the NMC has the mandate to ensure the highest journalistic standards. The government of the day says that it is allocating resources to build media capacity. And yet it is the Ministry of Information, the government PR ministry, that is saying that they are doing that development capacity for the media. The NMC is quiet. In fact, they participated. We were here when the Ministry of Communication wanted to even take over channels of GBC. We had to make noise before the NMC asserted its authority. So the NMC has a role to play so that people will begin to have confidence and trust in the institution, and where they feel offended or defamed, they can approach it for settlement. The other thing is that we ourselves as journalists must also accept the fact that, look, media freedom is guaranteed, does not mean media recklessness is also guaranteed. If you commit crime, if you commit crime, it's of no consequence where you committed it and how you committed it. Crime is crime. If you sit on radio or on television, or you write in a newspaper, and what you do is criminal, of course, the law will deal with you. And then the media managers, the editors, sometimes you wonder whether there are editors in our newsrooms. If you listen to the kinds of things that are allowed to be aired, you wonder whether there are news leaders or media leaders in the newsrooms. So it's a multifaceted situation from our side or from the media side. But I think that the government has to also tone down, because increasingly we are seeing a government that is becoming quite oppressive. As I said, this is not the only government under which perhaps people are spewing things that can be said to be reckless, things that can be said to be false. If individuals are offended, let them go to court, sue for defamation, or go to the National Media Commission, file a petition, and seek for a resolution, or ask for, do a rejoinder and insist that the constitutional requirement requiring media organizations to publish rejoinders must be respected. But if we continue to see police officers, national security officers being deployed in the middle of the night, storming radio stations, picking up presenters, picking up program hosts, and so on and so forth, it certainly creates the impression that we have a government that wants to oppress the media, even if the people have done the wrong thing. So I think that the government is perhaps also getting quite jittery and maybe unleashing state power in a way that would certainly create the impression that we are getting into an autocratic situation rather than the democratic kind of governance that we all want for ourselves.
I'm grateful for your time. Suleiman Abrahima, he's Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa. Let's move on to other stories. Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Professor Acquah, has lamented over delays in releasing funds to his authority. He revealed that his outfit is yet to receive its first quarter financial allocation to enable it to undertake its activities, a situation he describes as disruptive to the delivery of quality service. Health service. He's also calling for collaboration between government and corporate bodies to improve upon mental health delivery in the country. Marcy Nomo has more in this report.
Leadership of the Mental Health Authority says the outfit is underfunded and struggling to deliver quality mental health. According to Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Authority, Professor Acquah, a collaborative effort between government and the private sector is needed to bridge the gap in funding.
We have not had our first quarter allocation for funding. So what we are using now is the reserve of our last quarter's funding. And so again, that becomes a challenge. I must admit very quickly that in the last few years, funding has been better than previously, no doubt about it. But we still haven't got to the point where you can say we're okay. So we need more funding.
He urged corporate institutions and other stakeholders to get on board to provide financial support for his outfit.
We also want the public to understand that mental health care is a shared concern. It should be everybody's business. So you should not wait only for the government to provide what they can. The public should come in. I must tell you, for instance, in the next few days we'll have Valentine's Day. We went to corporate organizations for them to support us to show love to our patients, like chocolate. You can't believe that they didn't mind us. Meanwhile, if you had said, please give us chocolate to give to duty pageant or football or something, they would have come in. So the understanding that we should own mental health care is still not there. Organizations will tell you that mental health is not my area, it's not my priority. So that is still a challenge.
The authority hopes issues of mental health will be taken more seriously in the future. Mausi Numon's report for Joy News.
Thankfully, Professor Acquah has joined us over the phone to tell us more on this. Prof, I'm grateful for your time. I want us to explore the extent to which this is affecting your job.
Hello?
Yes, Prof. You are on News Desk on Joy News.
So you want to explore
the extent to which the lack of funds is affecting your job.
Well, good morning to you and to your cherished listeners and viewers. If you don't have money, then the services that you are supposed to provide cannot be provided. The authority has the mandate to ensure proper or adequate and quality mental health care is given to all people in Ghana. So those who have a mental disorder should be treated. So those who don't have it, we should promote their mental well-being and prevent the onset of mental illness. All this requires funding. There are psychiatric hospitals already in existence which require money, which require medications and other inputs to take care of their patients. They will need to feed patients on the wards. So all this is money. So if you don't have adequate money, then we are seriously handicapped. I must also say mental health care is not just limited to the psychiatric hospitals. We need to go to the community, people in the prayer camps. We need to educate the prayer camp healers so they don't put them in chains and various other things. So if you don't have money, then you are seriously handicapped. And this is what has been happening all about. Even though I must say that in the last few years, it's better, it's still not good enough.
Let's look at how detailed is the work on your table, or how bulky is it? The reason why we must treat this as urgent.
It's important to treat this issue as urgent. Yesterday we had a session, a program at which we tried to cut mental health care services. And for every illness, you will require, the details were not explored yesterday, but for every condition, if we invest one cedi in any condition, like a condition like depression, if we invest one cedi in depression, you are able to get a person to be well so that he can go and do his or her productive work, and at the end of the day, you get 6 cedis back. So your one cedi investment leads to 6 cedis back. Now, if you don't treat them, put all mental illnesses together, the country is losing 7% of its GDP to mental illnesses. And if we can grow to 8%, 9% every year, and if you are able to sustain it for about 5-6 years, we are already heading towards a higher income middle country. So without attending to our mental health care, it becomes very serious. The person cannot go to work and be productive, or even if he goes to work, he will just sit down and will not be able to do any meaningful work. So those who might be aggressive, might be destructive, and they cause troubles, substance use disorders. So all these are serious issues that we need to give urgent attention, the way you give to any other medical condition or any other condition, so that the persons will be well and go and work for themselves.
And so why haven't you been given the money for the first quarter? Has government explained to you why?
I guess it's still a question of inadequate funding. If the government is to give and it's not giving, it means that it does not have enough. And the same little that is distributed to everybody. So we are not having it. So what we've been known over the years, that it's not likely that we can get the right amount that will be able to take care of our patients and all other services. And so we need a special funding mechanism, which is the mental health levy. And the mental health levy is spelled out in the Mental Health Act 846. Now we need to establish, I know that we are in an era where we are talking against taxes and whatnot, agree. But over the years, we have all decided through the parliament that we need a special levy for mental health care. It will be much. So everybody has to go about your normal duty. You are contributing something small. You won't feel it. But put all together, you have enough money you to attend. And this is not being established. Until it's established, I'm not sure there will ever be a time when you have enough money. Last year, for instance, money that went to all health facilities for our funding, mental health got about 18%, which in some sense you say is disproportionate, it was too high. But the reality is that all the other health facilities are generating income. We don't generate by virtue of the nature of the conditions we attend to. So even if you give all the money going to the ministry or the other health facilities, it will still not be enough because of our lack all along. And that's why we need that special funding mechanism by way of levy. And so we need that levy at all costs before we can be sufficient.
Prof, I'm grateful for your time. He's CEO of the Mental Health Authority, Professor Acquah say. Let's get on to other stories. 3 people have died and others injured in a crash last night on the Nalerigu-Gambaga Road in the northeast region. At least 232 people died in road crashes across the country in the month of January alone. This is according to the latest report from the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department. The Ashanti region is leading with 44 deaths, the highest, followed by the Greater Accra region with 31. According to the MTTD, 93 of the deaths occurred through 461 motorcycle-related crashes. Elias Tanko is our northeast correspondent. Elias, so tell us more about this revelation. In the northeast region, what are the figures?
Well, the incident happened last night, and according to our sources, it involved a tricycle, popularly called motorcade, and a truck vehicle that was traveling from the Upper East region. And my understanding is that this motorcade was coming from a market in Langbinsi, and so upon reaching the Nalerigu around the Regional Coordinating Council, this long truck veered off and crashed into this particular motor tricycle, and it was carrying marketers from the Langbinsi community. So as I speak to you now, 3 persons have been confirmed dead by the police, and we also understand, we do not know how many, but we understand that there are others also currently receiving treatment at the Baptist Medical Center in Nalerigu here.
Elias Tanko, I'm grateful for that update. Pupils of the Breman DA Basic School are not just excited about moving into a modern and safer classroom block, but also that the new school will attract new pupils who would have been otherwise enrolled in other schools in neighboring communities. Speaking to MFA Ellie about the anxiety to move into the new building, some of the pupils say the structure will, for the first time, give them peace of mind to learn. Details in the following report.
Being constructed under the Multimedia Group's classroom project, when completed, will be roomier, have supporting academic facilities, and according to the pupils, will prevent some parents from sending their children to schools in neighboring communities because of the dangerous nature of the existing structure.
I'm very happy now. I hope this block will be very nice, and some of the people in my village are transferring their children to some of the private school here. Maybe when they saw that this building is very nice, they will transfer their children to here too. I only wish for them to help us to finish this school early, because I really want to sit in this school to learn.
Say me we say ICT lab or dan we mu your science laboratory or dan we mu ye be mu so a ye be feel comfortable. We say it's a class is adia ye be feel well.
This school block, I'm so excited and happy to sit in it. All my friends want to sit in it.
The 3-unit classroom block is 50% complete. Over 300 children will be moved into the new structure on completion. The current structure is very weak and unsafe for academic work. The progress of work is giving hope to the dreams of these children and the entire community. Project supervisor and hydrofoam expert Samuel Kofi Agbenyega gives further detail on the components of the structure.
It's going to be a beautiful classic hydrofoam structure, which is fireproof, earthquake resistant, and the kids will be comfortable because the rooms are very spacious. We had to stick strictly to the GES standard. We gave them 3 big classrooms, and then we gave them a library stroke ICT and then a head teacher's office, and then a staff common room. So these are the units in the whole building.
The classroom projects brought to you kind courtesy the Star Ghana Foundation with funding from the Dutch Foreign Affairs Ministry. It is supported by the Israeli Embassy, Forestry Commission, the Planned City Extension Project, DBS roofing sheets, and you, our cherished audiences. The classroom project, promoting social justice through philanthropy.
You can send your donations to MTN Momo number 0593038832, 0593038832 to support the classroom project. The final funeral rites of one of Ghana's advertising industry giants, Sogbo Mensah, is underway in Accra today. Mr. Mensah was the founder of DDP Advertising Company. We can go live now to the forecourt of the State House where the funeral ceremony is underway. Welcome back to News Desk. Let's now go to the State House where Mensah Sogbo, who is late, his funeral is underway.
Street printing, advertising, and promotion materials became DDP's other source of revenue. As Sogbo anticipated, as the next trade fair in Ghana drew closer, his clients engaged him to design and build exhibition stands. Over 2 to 3 months period, he built about 20 stands for countries and companies like Egypt, SSB, SIC, Ghana Commercial Bank, Toyota Ghana, then called Gamont. During Achampon's tenure as head of state, the Ministry of Trade searched for a Ghanaian to build exhibition stands for Ghana during trade fairs. Following Sogbo's excellent work during Ghana's trade fair, the ministry gave him the first contract to build an exhibition stand for Ghana at the Oklahoma State Fair in Oklahoma City in the US of A. Ghana's stand won the gold medal for the best foreign stand. Following the success of Oklahoma, Sogbo was engaged again for another fair in Dakar, Senegal, in December of that year. Then from January 1977, the floodgates opened. For nearly 20 years, Sogbo remained the only Ghanaian exhibition builder. Woody. In the 70s, under the Champon regime, the advertising industry suffered a jolt. Sogbo recognized that there was more activity in construction than in advertising because the beneficiaries of Kalabuli were investing their huge profits in housing. To this end, Sogbo put together the carpentry skills he had learned from his father, plus his designing skills, and started door manufacturing business called Woody. Sogbo set in motion plans to expand for export through the encouragement and support of the World Bank, but his plans did not materialize as the cedi depreciated sharply, causing the huge increase in the price of timber. Fortunately, advertising picked up significantly again, so he refocused on DDP. June 4th arrest. One incident that punctuated Sogbo's life was the coup of June 4th, 1979. About 3 months after the coup, 4 soldiers walked into his office and escorted him to Reki barracks at Burma camp. It turned out that somebody had reported him saying that at his age, he owned a big house with a swimming pool, that had lots of dollars, and so he should be investigated. He was kept in a small room together with about 25 other businessmen and well-to-do individuals who had also been arrested. He went before a 5-man tribunal called PIT, meaning pre-trial investigation, who questioned the source of his so-called dollars and house. Fortunately for him, his detention was reduced to 10 days when the director of Trade Fair Center intervened and confirmed Togbo's statements during his interrogation, and that earned him his release. Innovative outdoor advertising ideas from travels. Togbo's travels around the world, building exhibition stands for Ghana, exposed him to many outdoor advertising ideas. He was the first to introduce town identification signs in Ghana. He also introduced brand waist-high small kiosk for retailers of Embassy cigarettes. Formation of Advertisers Association of Ghana, AAG, in the early 80s, triggered by a comment made by the Honorable E.T. Mensah, who was then the mayor of Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Togbo, along with some other advertising companies, formed the Advertisers Association of Ghana. Togbo, Jacob Bechebi-Lamte, and Salas Mante, now all of blessed memory, were those who signed the document that brought into force. Jake was elected the first president. It suffices to remain or to mention here that Togbo was a sitting president when he passed away in the year 2021. Again, I would like to say that this is just an brief version of the autobiography, which will be launched in a year's time during the first anniversary. And also, please, a brief version of the autobiography. So please do well to read in the brochure. Thank you. God bless you.
Sometime between 1979 and 1981, Togbo diversified into real estate development. He started off by building a 4-bedroom house at McCarthy Hills for a friend based in England, and later bought, built, and sold 5 more houses around McCarthy Hill. In 1984, he registered a real estate company called T&T Properties and built more than 20 houses around McCarthy Hill. In February 1988, Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, GREDA, was formed with Togbo as the first president. He stayed in office up to 2000. GREDA Estates was built during his tenure as GREDA president. GREDA was also the first to move to Community 20, and Togbo secured the land on which West Hills Mall is located, originally for GREDA. His largest real estate development is 100,000 unit estate called Ocean View Estates, located at Sakumono. As at the time of his sudden demise, he had completed 70 units, spearheading givers. In all the international trade fairs, Ghana participated in one of the products that was constantly promoted was timber. Listen to timber board officials speak with visitors to the stand. He wondered why, instead of taking only pieces of timber abroad to promote, we had not created a platform in Ghana to promote everything timber. That thought led to an idea to start Ghana International Furniture and Woodwork Exhibition in 1985, give us 85. He sold the idea to leaders of the associations in the timber industry, namely the Furniture Products Association, that is furniture, Ghana Timber Association, lawyers, Ghana Timber Millers Association, millers, and the Timber Board. The Ministry of Trade gave them permission to renovate and use the trade fair site for givers. After about 5 months of renovation works and advertisements, the fair opened to the general public under the theme Timber, More Uses, More Spaces. It was the first woodwork exhibition in Africa and attracted exhibitors from Togo, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, England, Germany, Brazil, India, Pakistan. In Ghana, they organized 5 other givers every other 2 years. Sub-regional expansion and partnerships. While traveling around the world building Ghana's exhibition stands, Togbo realized that the advertising industry in Ghana other African countries were not all as well developed as Ghana's. This gave him the idea to establish an advertising company in some of these countries. This idea first came to Nitobo sometime after 1985, after Ghana participated in the Pan-African Trade Fair in Togo. Following that fair, he executed projects.
All right, so may he so rest in peace. It's now time for Tech Trends. Spike Nkrumah is here with me in the studio. Spikey, what's it about all this AirTag?
Yeah.
What is it about?
So the AirTag is like a key holder, a key ring, as you can see on the screen, where you can attach to anything that you tend to lose a lot. Okay. So your keys, your bag, something that you could easily lose, you put it in there, and anytime you lose it, you pick up your phone and then you start to track it. It will tell you exactly where it is, pinpoint location, so you can go and pick it up.
Okay.
Now the interesting thing, or the thing that some people have started to do, is they're using it to track people. So if I sneak an AirTag into your bag,
wow,
I can tell exactly where you are in real time.
Goodness.
Yes.
But that's also not good.
Exactly, that's terrible. So Apple is working on updating it to prevent people from using that to track people. Because if a car thief wants to steal your car and they want to know where you're going, all they have to do is find a way to attach it to your car, and then they can track you, find you where you're going. When they get there, you do whatever they want to do.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
It's difficult for you to actually tell that it's on you, especially imagine if someone just sticks it to the bottom of your car. You can't tell, because normally when it goes out of range, it chirps, it makes a beeping sound that you should hear. Okay. So Apple is looking at increasing the volume of the sound so you can hear it, or trying to make it possible that anyone who is not the owner of the tag can tell if they're being tracked. So they're looking at ways to prevent this. And yes, also looking at informing people who are trying to use that to do this nefarious activity, like tracking people, that it is against the law and they should stop.
Okay, but this particular one, so if I need to tag, I want to tag it to my phone, my bag, I need to get more than one.
You need to get more than one, yes.
So then I can tag all the things that I think I may lose, so that I can look at
your car keys, your house keys, and anytime you just go into your phone to look for it,
you know where exactly it is. Oh wow! So if somebody steals my phone, but already Apple has the Find Me app on Apple, so you don't really need this one. Or what difference does it make?
So you don't need it for your phone. You need it for any other thing that's not smart.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, your bag, your purse, your car keys, things that you lose quite often. You just hook it onto it, and then you can always track it. So it could be your earphones.
Yeah.
Maybe you lose them a lot, so you could tag it to the case, the carry-on case.
So in case you lose it, you can find. That's quite an innovation, but maybe they should work on the security aspect. But also there's a bit about Binance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
investing in Forbes.
Yes. If you're used to crypto like Bitcoin and all that, you're in the cryptocurrency business, you know about Binance, which is a company that deals in trading, helping people to create crypto wallets and trade in cryptocurrencies. And they are investing in Forbes, which is known for listing the world's billionaires and everything. It's a business news site. And everybody was like, why would Binance be looking to invest over $200 million in Forbes? And Binance says, hey, where the world is going, people need to be educated on cryptocurrencies. It's come to stay. And we think that Forbes is the best platform, because the business platform talks about money, it'd be the best platform to educate people on what cryptocurrency is. And mind you, there's concerns also because Binance sued Forbes at a point in time for defamation.
Yeah.
But the case sort of didn't go anywhere, it dropped. So everybody feels like, oh, this was the deal they came to. But according to CZ, who's the CEO of Binance, it's just a step in educating people, and they're looking at partnering with other media outlets to also get the news about crypto out there.
But hey, I was looking forward to getting a new Note. Which one is the latest? This is the 20.
So you have a Note 10.
The 10 Plus.
This is the Note 20.
Yeah.
And it ends there.
I was looking forward to getting a Note 25 or something.
So you won't have to worry about that. It won't be called a Note anymore. So Samsung last Wednesday announced the new S22 series of phones, and the top of the range, which would have been a Note, is now the S22 Ultra.
Okay.
So if you're looking for your next Note, if you're a Samsung Note lover, there's no longer a Note, there's now the S22 Ultra. So they've merged the Note, which was meant for productivity, and the S, which was meant for media and photography, together.
So you have both in one phone.
Yes, so you've got a powerhouse when it comes to cameras, and then you've got the S Pen, which everybody who wants the Note loves. So yeah.
Well, maybe I should go get one. S22 Ultra.
So when you get one, you know.
I can get one for you. Let's see how it goes. Spike in Nkrumah with tech trends. We'll take a break and we'll bring you business.
Hi there, welcome to Business. My name is Acquah, the General Manager for Terminal and Transmission of BOST at Bupe in the Savannah region. Josiah Atakobna has raised concerns about the low patronage of fuel by tanker operators in the catchment area. This is despite full stock. Here's more.
Mr. Josiah Atakobna raised the concern of patronage when the National Petroleum Authority Chief Executive Dr. Mustafa Hamid and his team paid a working visit to the facility in Bupe. He said even though in the last 2 years they have done some works to expand production, there has been low patronage at the facility.
Last year we were able to do about 8.8 million liters of that meant for export. It's about 9 million. So yes, so that is what we paid. And the issue that confronts us here is underutilization. As we speak, the tanks are almost full. But then we see BRVs move all the way from the north, bypass Bupe Depot, go to the south to go and pick over. And I mean the private terminals. And so we would request of your assistance to enable this terminal become vibrant once again.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, on his part, appealed to executive of the Tanker Drivers Association to help fight tampering of seals on tankers. The Vice Chairman of the Tanker Drivers Association, Nashiru Mohammed, appealed to the CEO to help boost activities at the Bupe Depot to increase their business. He also called for a dialogue on the electronic seal.
Now, between January 2021 and early October the same year, 3,915 fire outbreaks were observed in the country. This is according to reports from the Ghana Fire Service. Now, also, only 2 weeks into 2022, the Ashanti region has reported 73 fire incidents. However, to protect more people and properties, the Managing Director of Holad Life, Nashiru Idrisu, has encouraged the public to take advantage of various life insurance schemes and plans amid uncertainties. He disclosed this as a company partners Lotus Detox and Wellness Center to provide 20,000 Ghana Cedi insurance packages for its clients on Lotus premium wellness programs. There's more in the following report.
As Holad Life joins with Lotus Detox and Wellness Center to provide comprehensive life insurance packages for their clients, a free life insurance package worth 20,000 cedis is up for grabs. For people who are enrolled in Lotus's premium wellness programs, the packages are supposed to cover total and permanent disability, temporary disability, critical illness, as well as death. Here is Managing Director of Holad Life, Nashiru Idrisu, who says life insurance does not only protect lives and assets, but also relieves pressure on the government to provide incentives in times of disaster.
So we're giving as much as 20,000 Ghana cedis worth of life cover for free. By the virtue of being part of this partnership, you get the opportunity to to be given or to experience a 20,000 Ghana cedis worth of life cover, and it covers disability, it covers injuries, it covers critical illness, it covers death, whether accidental or natural death. It covers, and if you choose based on the value of your assets and your business, give you a cover to match that. So God forbid, should the unexpected happen, you don't run to government crying, you don't run to somebody else, you run to the insurance company, and then we'll bring you back to wherever you were.
Meanwhile, the chief executive of Lotus Detox and Wellness, May Kalmoni, highlights the benefits of the relationship to both organizations' clients.
Thanks to Hollard Life and their very interesting product that not only benefits the client after his life ends, it also benefits the client during his life. So in this way, while the client is taking care of himself at Lotus, we are giving him peace of mind that he is also ensuring his life for the good of his family. So he will have that kind of peace of mind that I'm doing something good for my family. All right, while he is also taking care of himself. That is where the idea came from, and that's what the added value we wanted to offer to our clients.
Ifwa Acquah Boafo's report for Joy Business.
And that's how we wrap up News Desk this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. See you again at midday.